love it.
Hello and welcome to this sensational episode of No Blasters with me, Kieran Bartlett. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com. As you know, they love us here and we love them. Basically, Manscaped care more about my pubes than I do. That's basically what it is. If you want to make your taint quaint, as they say, or spice up your bag, I would suggest getting a wee lawnmower 4.0, giving it a wee rake. It's very enjoyable. It's a good time in this day and age where male grooming is all important. Also, the ball deodorant. We've been there. We've all been there. When your bag smells like wet PE kit, and a ball deodorant will stop. It's preventative rather than reactive. So prevent that from happening. And then even if it does happen by some miracle, the ball toner, mate, let's do it. So
I don't want to sound like an old fella, but people actually buy this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What? People not just have a shower or something?
No, you do. You must also shower. This is also
right,
part of it. Yeah, this is in addition to having
grooming.
having a shower.
People are making money out of this.
Oh, mate, this is huge business. They give you everything comes in like this neat wee like a wee sporty leather. I'm talking about it like it's a Porsche, but it comes in like a wee sporty leather bag, and it's great. It is legitimately great.
Are you a user?
I am a user now. I would have sort of been going, don't know. It legitimately, the ball deodorant has changed my life, but also it's changed my wife's life. But please get over on the Manscaped. Use the code NOBLASTERS if you want 20% off and free shipping, or you can go to www.manscaped.com/NoBlasters, I believe. No, Dan's shaking his head. That doesn't exist. Don't do that. Just do what I said the first time. Use the code NOBLASTERS for 20% off and free shipping. There's a weed whacker.
What?
A weed whacker. Now, this is exactly...
Whacker?
This is for your ears and your neb. This is good times.
All right, okay,
This is
right.
like, you go in there, it does stuff. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what's happening in my nose right now. But you know in that bit at your nose, you know at the front of your nostrils and up, you know, like there.
Yeah.
Like
No.
Something made the other day I was driving a car and there was something and I sort of went, what's that? Just with the end of my thumb, just went like that. And this hair about that length came out. It was mate, the weed whacker. Get on it. Do it today. I cleaned my weed whacker there the other week, and you'd have thought I nearly felt like I should hang the weed whacker up in the shed after it because it was fucking so stinking. But anyway, Manscaped.com, no blasters. Use the code 20% off free shipping. Today's guest.
Have you opened? I want to be sponsored by Guinness. Something useful.
I know,
like
yeah.
Manscaping.
Mate,
I've got to the age where hair is coming out of my ears.
See, but when you
they have something for
you
that.
need the weed whacker, we'll
weed.
hook you up. This is the thing. I don't drink, so whenever, because some company, have you seen this by the way? Some company have released a beer. A company from here have released a beer called No Blasters. I've been getting I meant to talk to you about this. I've been getting tagged
you
in
need
this.
a copyright into
I know.
property.
I fucking
lawyer,
do.
Don't you?
I've been fucking getting tagged in this all week. People going, oh, here's a corporate hookup that should happen, and I'm going, but I don't drink, so I don't want to be really going, guys, have a pint, and I don't drink. I don't know if it's fucking nice beer. Anyway, I will hunt every one of them down in their marketing team, but and fucking shave them with my Manscaped lawnmower. But yeah, today's guest, as you all know already, is Irish comedy legend and fucking sitcom legend, Tim McGarry. Thanks for coming on, mate.
You're very welcome, Kieran. Thanks for having me.
How you getting on? All
I'm
good?
doing the best. Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be with the talented Bartlett.
Absolutely. The talented. I love
the talented Bartlett.
That's
Hi,
really
is young
cool.
Michael? Is he okay?
Yeah. I think he's all right. He's still angry that I started comedy just after.
Is that all right?
But,
Is he still upset about
Do you know what's
that?
mental? We didn't know each other before.
Is that right?
Yeah,
You're cousins,
because
aren't
we're like his dad was my dad's, or my dad was his dad's cousin. Do you know? So
All
our
right, so
dads were
it's-
cousins, so we didn't really know each other. And then like I go to a gig, I probably came across like an absolute creep because Mickey didn't know who I was. I just walked up to him and went, "We're related." Do you know what I mean? He's like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, I think he'd been doing comedy for maybe like a year or something like that
And he's
before I
sickened that
started.
you're good at it.
I
isn't
think
he?
I think
He's absolutely
I think
sickened that
whenever I
you're-
did like my second gig with him, he was like, "Fuck's sake, I'm supposed to be a comedian in this family." Do you know what I mean? It's funny. But yeah, we did a gig. I was at his gig last night in Alvarez. It was great.
He's quite funny, to be fair.
He is. He does
quite
a
good.
turn like he does a turn on McGarry. How have you been getting on with shows? Have you been doing many gigs or something?
No, I haven't done much live stuff recently. I had an eye operation and I had a bad eye operation. I had to miss a couple of gigs I was doing for what do you call him? Dave Elliott and Pugs and Strand, and I had to cancel them unfortunately. And then, but I've a few things coming up.
Aye.
Plenty of work coming up.
I slid in that one, the Strand, so that I was meant to be doing it, but I was only meant to be doing 10, and then I got there and Dave was like,
congratulations,
do you want to close
your
this?
headline.
And I'm like, yeah, class. I was coming to try 10 minutes of new stuff, and now here's a fucking set. Yeah, it was grand.
Good.
It's good over there. I like it in there. It's have you gigged in there before?
It's a cinema, isn't it? Yeah, I've done a couple of charity things in there. Yeah, it's all right.
It's actually surprisingly good crack.
Yeah.
Like, because they're very sound else. Like, we do our live podcasts there, but like they like I don't know, it just really works for comedy.
Yeah.
I think I sort of like the vibe of it though, because it still has that. Do you know like the sort of? Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember Curly Cinema in the fucking 90s? It's very like that, like the red carpets and the just like the. You know, the smell of popcorn, the old fucking projector and all. I love all that.
Well, what I like is that there's so much happening now. Bill. I'm an old fella, as you know, and in my day it was just the Empire and literally nothing else. And now you've got Lavery's. Pugs is a really nice gig upstairs. It's lovely.
Great,
and you know they did that one outside in the
the boneyard.
The boneyard or whatever. But there's so much.
There's loads on. Yeah, because even when I started though, there was really only the Empire and the Pavilion, and there would have been like the odd one, like not the odd one. There was the one in the old Mandela Hall, but like I mean, fuck, like we couldn't get near that.
Paddy McGarry up in Ballymena.
In the bread, Paddy's unreal, like so funny, like
the nicest man in show.
Oh, he's so dead on, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, you think that? I think he's a seller where he tortures cats.
he's doing one of my.
He's one of the guys. What happened, Paddy? Cat serial killer. Yeah, kept himself to himself, didn't he? Yeah.
That's the phrase, isn't it? It's always
lovely
kept himself to himself. Yeah,
lovely
always. I love when they say stuff like that on the news. He kept himself to himself, and then he was bathing people in acid. But what was I going to say then? What's your FIFA background? You haven't really played?
No, my sons played it when they were quite young.
Right.
But I genuinely don't know what these buttons mean or anything. I don't know anything about it. I'm a big football fan, but I like to see it live. Is that right? Because you're going to win.
You'll is
that? Are you very competitive, Kieran?
I'm a dick. I'm a dick on this. Like I'll get on like, oh, just come on, it's a bit of crack, and I'm just sitting there like, you know what I mean? Testing people.
Silence descends.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is a test of your character, though.
It is. But
don't like losing.
No, don't. I hate losing on this. What? Who do you follow then?
In football, you mean? Leeds United and Cliftonville.
Leeds. Interesting. Very interesting.
Man of a certain age, you see. Got Leeds in the early 70s when they were
Stanley
great.
Matthews?
Oh, back off.
Is he older than that?
Yes,
I don't know.
Matthews is older than that.
Sorry, I don't
Never
fucking
played
know.
for it.
Did he play for Leeds?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Billy Bremner, Mick Jones, Alan Clark, Peter Lorimer, all those guys. Early 70s, they were great.
Was he a big striker?
Who?
Billy Bremner?
No, he's midfielder.
No,
Vicious midfielder. Yeah.
I know who the fuck I'm thinking of.
He's got a statue outside.
Here's my absolute dementia kicking in here. Who did fucking Stanley Matthews play for? Stoke or something?
No, was it Blackpool or Blackpool?
Did he play? Fuck, I don't know.
And England?
Look that up, Dan. This is the glory of the internet now, is that we can just fucking go, I demand to know. But you forget things, don't you? I always forget this shit. When you look stuff up now, I never remember.
Yeah.
Because it's all disposable. Who do you play for? I fucking
Stoke.
I fucking said Stoke.
You didn't say Stoke. I said Blackpool.
It's all on video. Oh my god. I was like, did he fucking? I could have sworn he was a Leeds. Anyway, but obviously he wasn't. But
Leeds
sorry.
And Cliftonville. My uncle used to play for Cliftonville.
Right. Okay.
My uncle was top goal scorer for Cliftonville for in the 50s and 60s.
Holy
played
fuck.
for Northern Ireland. Kevin McGarry. 171 goals.
Jesus.
Beaten now by Joe Gormley, who's got over 230 or something. But yeah, that's why my dad was actually the club doctor for a while.
Oh, really?
We used to be brought there with kids as a punishment.
Was your dad a medic, man? Was he? A doctor?
A surgeon in the Manor Hospital in Belfast.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's mental. We my great uncle played. We found this out. Well, I knew he had played. He played for Belfast Celtic.
Who did he? Who?
Yeah. My uncle. This is good, isn't it? Charlie Curry.
Right.
He played for them. I always go to say Danny, but that was a different great uncle. But anyway, no, Charlie Curry. He played for them, and then he went across the water and played for a few teams over there. But he was one of the guys, like, he was like known for being a great header of the ball.
Right.
And then, like, you know, it didn't work out for him because in those days the ball was like a fucking stone. But he
proper leather ball.
Yeah, so he was like, but that would have been, I think he was playing maybe in like, maybe in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
you know
49.
I mean? Yeah,
they left the league.
Yeah, he was. But he's like, there's a wee book, a wee history book that Jordan Robinson brought me. A wee history of Belfast Celtic, and he's fucking in it and all his photos and all in it. It's mental, but yeah, so he's like...
I like the local football, you see. It's only 12 quid and it's good crack. And,
see, I've never actually been.
You've never been?
No, I was
go
always...
and see your local football team, genuinely.
I say I've never been. I've been up to see the DC before. I saw them play, like, because they're near where I grew up, but, like... They would be it. I haven't seen anybody.
My kids ended up. I'm very disappointed. They ended up Man United fans. Not my fault.
I am
cousins
a United
and stuff.
fan.
And I took them over to the Old Trafford, but it's a fucking fortune. The tickets and flights
I also
and all that.
hardly ever go there. I haven't been there in years.
But 12 quid, go and see your local football team. And there's an intense rivalry. You know, I try to be completely non-sectarian, as you know, but I have to say I still haven't stopped laughing since Linfield lost that game in the last 20 seconds. I'm sorry, I genuinely, I do. There's a lot of camaraderie in football. I do gigs for Linfield at the end of the season stuff.
But that was mental.
But I mean, it was very sad. I mean, if it happened to us, I'd have been absolutely distraught. I mean, still got it. But
do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember a load of years ago there was that bit in the Championship where they were coming up? It was like Leicester and Watford or something.
Yeah, it's
that
still
Troy
online.
Deeney. It was like that where it's like
there was a penalty and then it went up the other end.
There's a miss at one end and then it goes up the other end. They score and it fucks everything. You're going, what's just happened? You know what I mean? That was crazy.
But it's just jealousy, of course, because Linfield win.
They're always thereabouts, aren't they? I was saying there just before we started that some guy pulled up beside me as I was sitting outside Lavery's waiting to go in last week. I'm sitting in the car and he pulls up and he's just like, Kieran. I'm like, all right. He's like, do you want to go to this Linfield match? I'll get you in. I'm like, no. I'll just go and do this fucking gig here, mate. I'm literally safer saying horrendous shit in Lavery's than I would be going into Windsor Park. I don't know. I've always just felt like I know that I think the only time any of our ones ever really went to any stuff like that here was like my ma brought my brothers when there was one of those sort of pre-season games where like Linfield were playing Liverpool,
right? And
our ones went down to watch it, and as my ma's this is pre-ceasefire, like, and my ma shouts out, like, drops our ones off on Boucher Road and shouts out, God bless!
I'll say we take another rosary for
you. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking marking. I'm like,
are you lurking? Are you lurking?
Oh, no, fuck. No, I'm Blacks Road. Right. Mickey's lurking. Like.
Right, okay. Well, like Glenavon down there, a good team.
Yeah.
Great team. Great bunch of guys.
I remember... I used to follow it more. Like, I used to like read about it, and I used to watch the highlights on the news whenever I was younger. Like, but I haven't really followed it.
It's changed a lot. I mean, Cliftonville's big moment was 1979 when they won the Irish Cup and haven't won it since. And I was 14 at the time, and what a day out! I mean, it's absolutely top-notch, superb riot before the match. Went on for 45 minutes. I mean, it was classic stuff, you know. And there were peelers wheeling in. There was guys with corner flags using them as spears and things. You know? And it was shit. And went on for an hour before the match started. And then Cliftonville won 3-2. It was a great day.
Mental.
Great days.
Who were they playing?
Great days. Put it down.
Wow.
Beat them through 3-2.
That's mental. Cliftonville... Haven't Cliftonville though found a couple of players though not in the last sort of like few years that have sort of gone on to like bigger things like
well,
over the water?
Liam Boyce is plays for Hearts now. Done very well.
Did they have a goalie? Who had the goalie that did well? I sound like I'm about 90 here. Somebody had a goalie that was
somebody
like spotted
had a goalie who did from here. Not sure.
I don't know.
I mean, the biggest stars probably who's done very well is from here is Stuart Dallas.
Oh, yeah. He's at
Leeds. Used to play for Cliftonville. Used to play for Cook United and then Crusaders. Sorry, he didn't play for. He played for Crusaders and now he's at Leeds.
He is a fucking top player. Unbelievable pace. Like, yeah, I like him. Yeah, we had what do you call him on there recently? We had Conor McLaughlin on, the Northern Ireland player. Like, he's a funny guy. Like, but yeah, those like. That team that went to the Euros like a few years ago, I was just like, I want that back. Like, I'm gutted that nobody's in the World Cup. I like having the Irish teams there to watch. Like, what do you think? Would you ever put those teams together in one team?
What the
North and the South? Everybody.
That's not controversial, Kieran.
I know.
It's not.
I call it controversy. I always think that would be good though, because I think everybody kind of gets behind the everybody gets behind the rugby team, like.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like, why can't I just?
Well, it's interesting. You see, I like my politics and my history, as you probably know. The Northern Ireland Football Association is called the Irish Football Association. It was the Southerners who actually split from the IFA in the early 20s. That's why they're called the Football Association of Ireland and the Irish Football. And so the Irish Cup is the Northern Ireland Irish Cup. But it's a bit because golf and hockey and all of that are all Ireland and stuff like that. But I think there's more politics around.
I know, but I sort of go around that. I'm just like, sort it out though. Do you know what I mean? I reckon
I was in
France
for the Euros. I was in France for the Euros, but to see a Republic match with Neil Delamere. The atmosphere was brilliant, and there were loads of Northern Ireland fans about, and the crack was just neat, and there was an awful lot, and the fans behaved. All the Irish fans, North and South.
Am I making this up? I think I saw. I've definitely seen. Did you take a picture of that?
That was at
the Champions League final? I saw that. That was fucking funny. Is he a Liverpool fan though? Is he?
He's a massive Liverpool fan.
Oh wow! I'm sure that was fucking great.
Just the French peelers were awful.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, they didn't fucking.
It was very funny because Neil's from the south, so the French peelers were really wheeling into people and firing pepper spray and stuff and batting charging people, you know. And Neil was going, Jesus, what's this? And I'm from Northern Ireland. I was just nostalgic.
Here, like recording it so you can fucking go to sleep with the noises.
That's not a proper button charge. And get into them.
Yeah, he's having him shy, but
but they were French as well, so they did it with elan, you know. The pepper spray, you know, was au poivre, you know, with a bit of a hint of garlic as well. Whack you.
Oh, it's fucking.
Totally unnecessary. I mean, the Liverpool fans behaved impeccably.
Everybody said
it was an hour and a half to get in. It was an absolute shambles from beginning to end.
And then I think they've whitewashed it though, haven't they? I don't think anything's coming of it. Like, that's fucking mental. Shall we get stuck?
Yes, sorry. What have I to do here?
So, give us a wee second. I'll set this up. So
you brought me in to play a game I don't know how to play and I've never played in my life.
But this is the best.
Okay.
We've had a few people on who have never played, so you've only got to compare yourselves to them. Diona did quite well on this.
Did she?
Yeah, she had never played either, and she actually did all right. So let's see. We'll go here. I'll be somebody shit. And we'll give you leads.
I'll be not up there, no.
No, they don't have the Irish
crap
League.
Game is it? They don't have Irish League.
I'll go with some really fucking rare team here. Hang on. Do you know what? I'll go with some shitty Scottish team. We'll go St. Johnstone versus Leeds.
Yep, or Dukla Prague. You got Dukla Prague.
Where are they from?
I don't know, but there's a great half man, half biscuit song called "All I Want for Christmas Is a Dukla Prague Away Kit."
If we'll have the Czech League, I'm guessing they might be from there. No, I don't think we'll have it. Hang on.
Right, stick it, buddy.
Somehow we'll have the Indian League. I'll be fucking Bengal FC. Let's do that. And you be Leeds. Happy days.
Right. Okay.
We'll just go with the teams as they are. Fuck it. Here we go.
People are watching. This is
life.
This is how.
Mate, you go to university, you do your thing, you make a living playing. This is the Tories. This is what it is.
In my day,
This is life now, mate.
We didn't play this. No, in my day, you read your Bible and you went to bed. You did your chores.
So here, if I talk you through a wee bit, this is pass.
A's,
but when you have the ball, A
P
passes.
Would have been easier, but
A's pass, B shoot.
B shoot.
X is like a big boot or a cross.
Right.
And Y plays a nice wee cheeky through ball. And then
a penetrating ball.
Yeah. And then this makes you sprint. You hold that in.
Right.
And then you control where they're running with this. This changes your man if you don't have the ball. It gets quite complex. Easy to pick up, difficult to master. That's what I would say. And then when you don't have the ball, X is a slide tackle and B is like a stamp. The stamp in for the ball.
All right, what are these things here? These are move the players.
That's how you move.
And what's that one there?
I wouldn't use it. That changes your tactics and all.
Changes my tactics? I'm going to use that.
I know, yeah. If you're not sure how to pass, just set an offside trap. Right. No, I'm only joking. So this is fucking Bengal FC, mate, versus Leeds. Yeah, and here we'll just do one of these. I'll mercilessly destroy
We've got match commentary. All right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so can we talk a wee bit about how you like get into comedy and stuff?
If you feel you have to,
I'd love to because I don't really know.
Right.
Like, so we had a question. Somebody had sent in a question for you on Twitter saying, actually somebody had asked, have you stopped laughing about Linfield? So that was good. But somebody asked.
It is very cruel and wrong, but yeah, I haven't stopped laughing.
Yeah.
Since,
Somebody else asked, do you give up, or sorry, did you regret practicing law? Or sorry, did you regret giving up practicing law?
Well, actually, believe it or not, actually quite a nice job that I'm vaguely sorry about. I was working in private practice for a bit, and then I became an expert in discrimination law.
Right.
So I was working for the Fair Employment Commission for a couple of years. And
right.
then I...
when was this?
Early 90s.
Right.
Worked for the Fair Employment Commission, eliminated all religious discrimination. What am I doing here? Have I to move here? How do you move? Hold on.
Yeah, you run when you have it. Use this.
What that one there?
Aye.
Right, okay. So what does he throws that out, right? Sorry, yes. So early 90s, and then I moved from the Fair Employment Commission to Equal Opportunities Commission, fighting sex discrimination. I was there for 4 or 5 years, and it was a great job.
Right.
Actually, it was really good. There was a small organisation fighting sex discrimination, so I was an expert on maternity rights and maternity pay and sexual harassment and European law.
I bet you nobody really knows that.
And we were doing the comedy part time. The other two guys that do it, Damon and Michael, we were doing it. We were doing theatre shows and radio shows and stuff. And we actually won it was our own fault. We won a big award in 1992, Sony Award for the best radio comedy in the UK.
Wow, right.
And sat in our arses thinking, that's great. Somebody will ring us up and say, here's a TV show. But it doesn't work like that. You had to go out and do gigs. So we were part-time and we were doing bits and pieces. And 2 ceasefires and a wedding happened. That wasn't good. You shouldn't have given him the ball. He's going.
When did that actually come out? Was that 94? Was it?
2 ceasefires and a wedding was 95.
Right.
It was broadcast. And...
Because that was huge. Like, I mean, I remember that. I was 8 when that came out, but I remember, like, we watched that as a family.
Yeah.
Everybody watched that.
Well, it was a one-off, and the BBC kept repeating it, and it went very well.
Yeah, like, it was huge, though.
It was huge.
Do you know what it was, I think? And this is something, like, I mean, when I was 8 watching it, I'm not a dick. I wasn't having this thought when I was 8. I wasn't sitting there going, this is great for the representation. You know what I mean? But it was, because it was like the first time anybody had really seen anybody do
there hadn't
comedy
been any
like that
comedy
on TV.
TV comedy since Jimmy Young in the early 70s, and he died in 74. But there hadn't really been anything about here on the TV.
Yeah.
And in fact, there were no, for a long time, there were no theatres and stuff, you know, so it was the first time that there'd been a local sitcom done about the Troubles, you know, so, and it was talking about things that everybody else was talking about, you know, and we, for a long time, kind of comedians oh, jeez, what am I doing? he should kick it. How do you say? Look at that, smooth as, it's like watching Brazil. What's why?
A wee through ball.
Yeah. Look at that. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still doing okay. I'm not losing.
You're not doing too bad. I will say, like Bengal FC,
are not great.
They're not ripping up trees. Like, yeah.
Right, they're not Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
They're not even Sunday League. So that was out 95.
95, and Give Me a Headpiece started in 98.
Right.
So we gave up our jobs in 96. The 3 of us, Damon, Michael, and myself, gave up our jobs and went full time. And I was lucky because I was working for the Equal Opportunities Commission. It was like a Quango's kind of government job, so I was able to take a career break.
Good.
So if it had all gone belly up, I'm going to be a lawyer again. I'm going to be a solicitor.
Yeah, but you've had that fair crack of the whip out of then,
you know. But you know, this is 26 years on, still living on
still on the break. That's great. That's mental though, because
but what's really interesting, our progress was kind of stage stuff.
Yeah.
We used to do the group theatre in Belfast. Did stage shows
that was beside the Ulster Hall, was
brilliant wee theatre, 250 seater, absolutely lovely.
Still there?
Spot. No, they bloody turned it into a bar. It's part of the group theatre.
Really?
Yeah, part of the Ulster Hall.
I remember going. I went and saw shows in there. It was cheap to watch stuff in there, and there was loads of comedy on there.
It was basically an amateur theatre, so you could hire it for threepence, and we started there, and then the progress was from there to radio, and then from radio to TV.
Right.
You know, so it's completely different now when you see, you know, podcasts and people online and streaming. People come from nowhere. You know, but was apart. Sorry, not nowhere, but you know what I mean. Completely different routes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people like now. I think now there's a more clearly defined route. Like if you want to work in TV now, you can nearly just start working in TV because the infrastructure's there.
Yeah,
but when it's not there,
completely different now as well. People aren't watching TV the same way they did. Our big, even things like Give Me a Headpiece, which do very well. The big, Lord, a save.
I was a massive save. I'm not happy with
that. I did nothing. I didn't touch this. How did I save that?
He loves that. Like, he loves that.
That's Millier.
Yeah, he is actually a great keeper.
He's a good keeper.
I don't think Leeds will hold on to him for too long. I think he's got another year and then he's away he's away somewhere. Like he's is he top 4? Like is he top 5?
French, isn't
He's I can see him going somewhere like Tottenham and taking over.
Yeah.
I think he's that level. Like that's mad though, because I wouldn't have thought there was that much time between 2 ceasefires and
it took a few years
get my headpiece.
In fact, we got. What am I doing?
Like in my mind's eye, that was nearly, that's instant in my memory. Do you know what I mean?
No,
which is mad.
In fact, we got a live sketch show in '96 called Friday Live with the Hole in the Wall Gang, which was a sub-Kilty thing, which didn't do very well, and which wasn't really what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
For various reasons, but eventually we kept pitching, give them a headpiece on them, and the BBC said, "Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a go at that."
Aye, and it's still going there as well.
It's still going, and we were. I mean, when we first wrote it with 6 good episodes, and we knew it with 6, and then very early on, the B went, "Jesus, that's brilliant, guys. Have you any more?" And we went, "Oh yeah, no bother." And inside we're going, "Oh what? No, we've got all our best jokes. There is no more." Yeah. But it just grew and grew, and from the first series did well, the second series did very well, and the third series it just went through the roof.
Yeah, I remember
chased through bloody supermarkets with big kids,
I remember there was the one where there was like a.
I'm
like
not doing anything.
There was like an armored car.
Yeah,
and I remember like that was.
Was it a tank one? Is that
it was a tank. Yeah, that was like.
Well, that came about because a guy in Scotland rang us and said he'd seen some of the series and liked the show. He says, "Oh, you doing, boys? You doing all right? Have you written the next series?" I said, "No." He says, "Well, I've got a tank." I said, "What? I've got a tank. Do you want it?"
That's
I
mad.
said, "Aye, all right." And we had this, so decommissioning was happening. All that bloody decommissioning was happening. So we said, "All right." We live an IRA man who. Forgot to tell the rest of the boys that he had a tank in his garage during the entire Troubles.
That's mad though. I remember that. Was there a bit of that? I think there was a bit of that was filmed over near our school, maybe. Was that over the
Ormer Road?
Yeah, I went to Aquinas.
Yeah, that's where the garage was.
Everyone was talking about that. Like I remember that. Like people going, like, because loads of kids I went to school with lived on the Ormo, and they were
we attracted crowds. I just fell over there. I money said, "I've done it again." What is he doing? Oh,
that's mental. So then, are you? I've always wondered about this. Did you get the Hole in the Wall gang from the Butch Cassidy thing? Is that where that comes from? Or
it was kind of, there's a pub on the Antrim Road called the Hole in the Wall.
Oh, really?
Also, that's where the source of our funding was, the Hole in the Wall.
All right.
So it's a bit of a shit name, to be honest with you.
I always wondered, because it's the name of the Butch Cassidy gang that.
We kind of, and then we were a bit pretentious. We thought we'd call ourselves the Hole in the Wall Theatre Company, and then we did a thing on Talkback every Friday. We did live sort of 5-minute comedy of the week's news.
Yeah.
And David Dunseith, the late great
David
Dunseith, he said, "You're not a gang, you're not the whole theatre company, you're the gang."
Yeah.
So I'm 58 now, I'm still in a gang. Like, name my dog.
Here was good enough for Al Capone. Like.
Well, that's it.
I remember I worked for a wee while on Talkback.
Did you?
When I was a journalist? Yeah, just for a wee while, like before I did my PhD.
It wasn't under Dunseith.
No, he had just left. It was when the Austin had just started.
Right. Dunseith was great journalist.
Yeah. My dad listened to it every day.
Well, it was
he loved it. Like, it was. Do you know what? I loved working on it. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Come off it.
It was such crack. I know Melly is fucking keeping you in this, mate. It was one of the best jobs I had in my life. It was a laugh.
0-0's a victory for me here, by the way.
It is. Oh no, it totally is.
You're the expert. You play this all the time.
I know. I don't
even know what I'm doing. I'm just pressing buttons randomly here.
To be fair, I don't play.
Get away!
I didn't even do that. That's all you, mate. That was all you. Yeah, don't hit anything. We'll leave this wee replay on. We'll see. I didn't even do that. This is what happens. See, you're in the middle of saying, "Mate, this is a victory for me." Do you know what I mean?
Put me off. Sorry about.
I got a wee head. I got a wee head on it here, but then look at this.
Look at this.
Calamitous from Melia and
I've obviously put myself on the fence here and give myself a go.
Like, look at this. That's him trying to do a great header. Look, that's unbelievable.
Poor.
That would have been funny to me if that was Dallas, but I don't think it was. But so then, whenever the show was really taking off, then what was like, people were asking questions. They were being like, "Did you ever have to have added security, or did you ever have to get people chucked out of shows if they wouldn't shut up during the show and all?
No, we were very lucky. Actually.
You seem like you attract a nice
Yeah,
audience.
we do. Well, there was a lot of people at the start, because at the very, very start, we were doing sketch shows and stuff, and people were going, you can't laugh about the troubles, and people were shouting, this is too serious and all of that. But from very early on, the Give Me a Head piece was getting such a big audience and a cross-community audience that, politicians went, well, fucking everybody likes this, there's no point slagging it off. And we actually got a lot of politicians used to come to the shows, to the recordings and stuff, even people you wouldn't think of. A lot of DUP people used to come to the show and love it. And, Martin McGuinness, we put him in an episode, and he was at something or other in the BBC, and he says, all right, lads, how you do it? Apparently Jerry Adams didn't like it, which was good.
Right, yeah.
Jerry, I don't know if Jerry has a great sense of humour. I don't want to test the theory about whether he has a good sense of humour or not.
He must have some sense of humour after releasing that fucking cookbook.
Oh,
that's mad.
And his hilarious Christmas videos,
Oh,
But, but do you know where I got the most trouble? It's Twitter. It's not even Give Me a Head pieces stuff. It's Twitter you get in trouble with.
Aye.
I did a very good joke that I got in real trouble for on Twitter. I can tell it now because it's
Go for it.
Well, it's the Bobby Story thing and the funeral. And all that, right? Well, the year after that, John Hume, the late great John Hume, great man, died. As you know. And John, COVID was still on, so John got about 20 people at his funeral, all perfectly spaced out and all that.
Yeah, whereas if it had been normal times, you probably would have had like
I did a tweet saying, Ireland is very lucky that John Hume, went down the path of peace and didn't join the Provos. It was great for Ireland. On the plus side, if he had joined the Provos, he would have got a much bigger funeral. The trouble was I didn't leave it long enough. I didn't let the time, because it was actually the day. Now, he was buried at the time, but it was the day of the funeral, so I got loads of people go, this is hilarious, but immediately, ding, 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 this is outrageous, really? This is disgraceful, this is bad taste, how dare you, how dare you. And I've never had experience like it. It was just like you turned on your phone and just bing, 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 bing. And a lot of people misinterpreted it, and you go, and I thought I would fight it for a few minutes, and then I went, no, I'll tell you what, just delete this.
Jesus Christ. There
was a lot of people said that's a great joke, you should stand by it and all that, and a lot of SDLP people even said, like,
there's nothing like Jesus Christ.
It wasn't having a go at John, but the timing wasn't great, But
I mean, do you ever think though that something like that, something like the show or whatever,
I should probably tackle him, shouldn't I?
Especially like the 2 ceasefires thing, that was sort of coming out in those couple of years where, troubles were still on, but like people are sort of turning towards peace a wee bit. Do you ever think like he's had a bit of a role in that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, obviously.
I mean, in turn, like, as much as comedy or wider culture can have a role. Like,
yeah. Oh, good pass, Millie. Well done. Great. He just did that just in order to save them. I mean, I think probably, if I'm being objective, we probably deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for our work, without us, it wouldn't have happened. If I'm being honest, now, what basically happened was when we first started late 80s and so we tapped into this kind of war weariness because the troubles were kind of just happening and going on, and everybody was going, this is never going to fucking end, is it?
Yeah.
And we tapped into a kind of thing about having a go at paramilitaries and politicians that nobody had really done on mainstream. That people were telling jokes in pubs and stuff, but never in theatres. And we were quite nervous at the start when we were doing it. But I think we clearly tapped into this kind of, please have a go at the politicians in a funny way.
Yeah, because what I sort of remember from that time, like, and
it was Keeley's around the same time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember. Obviously, being, say, 12 or 13 or whatever when the agreement happened, but like our house, like, I was the youngest, so the news and newspapers and all that, you're probably more politicized and just know what's going on more than like the news was on our house every day. Like, that was a far bigger part of life.
How do you time waste on this? Because I think I need to do that. Where's time waste?
And there's like, I sort of think though that like that time, the comedy stuff that was out, like I remember like one of my brothers would have had the spitting tapes.
Oh, John McLean.
Yeah, he would have had those, and then like my brothers were taught by Sean Crummy.
Great guy, Sean.
And my sister worked with him and stuff, so like they were, people like that, and then Paddy Kilty obviously doing stand up, and it was sort of like there was definitely like a wee movement of comedy stuff that was kind of
It was around
about
that
here
time.
and
Yeah,
for here,
Sean,
like, you know what I mean?
Sean, one of our claims to fame is we encouraged Sean to go full time because he was doing a part. He was a teacher.
Yeah, that's right.
A
Yeah,
lovely
impressionist,
really good impressionist. Very nice, gentle sense of humour. Sean did one of the best impressions of Jerry Adams, and we used to get him on our stage show. He's such a nice guy. He refused to swear.
Oh, really?
He wouldn't swear.
Do you think that's because he was a teacher?
No, I think he was
like
genuinely religious. You know, he took his
right.
religion seriously, and he just wasn't like that. And, but a really, really nice guy. He was one of those rare people who wanted you. If you did a gig with him, he wanted you to do well. You know what? Comedians are genuinely jealous. You know, if I do a gig with you, if you die,
I don't even like it.
I would
pretend
well to go,
that's
terrible, Kieran. But I go, what do you say? I'll smash this. But he genuinely wanted you to do well. You know, so a lovely, lovely guy. Great loss, Sean. But you know, he was an extra in one of the early episodes of Give Me a Headpiece, and he was talking about going full time. And you won
victory. Sorry, I have to acknowledge it.
The Bengali,
I have to acknowledge it.
Leeds United, but 1-0 by the way, with a man who just was twiddling. I don't know what the hell I was doing. That's not a victory.
No, it is. That's a victory.
Why did you not win that 8-0?
Because it doesn't matter. All I have to do is win.
This is pathetic. I don't know if this was on. Is this even working?
It's on. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Done.
Thank you. I'm very happy with that.
You should be very happy with that.
So then you were saying like, I was saying like there was that sort of wee group then of like there was using like people like Sean or like those tapes. I mean those tapes my brother used to just like listen to them.
Yeah.
And like flip them over and listen to the other side and flip them over and you're just going, Jesus Christ, like, but they were funny, like.
John was great impressionist, you know, but they weren't for.
They're not for everybody.
They're not for broadcast.
Absolutely,
because,
they're rude, like
Pacey saying fuck.
They're totally just swearing and like. I always remember like I never remember the name of the actual reporter that he did, but he used to just act one reporter.
Oh, it was John Cole.
John Cole, yeah.
John Cole, yeah. He was a political correspondent, but he was very famous in the late 80s.
Yeah, that was lethal. Like.
At your time, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, but did you ever hear a guy? I think I've talked about him a couple of times on here because it was something that like. I mean, my comedy isn't for everybody. There's often not broadcastable, but like there was a guy who was around the same time as Jimmy Young called Crawford Howard. Did you ever hear him?
Oh, Crawford Howard.
He did like
Diagonal
poems.
Steam Trap.
Yes.
The Diagonal Steam Trap. I saw him do it in the group theatre.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable.
Really nice, gentle sense of humour. Yeah, like lovely stuff.
His stuff seemed to me more than Jimmy Young. I'm like, why is this guy not have the Jimmy Young status? Do you know what I mean? Obviously Jimmy was doing all the characters and all, but that guy, oh my god.
Yeah.
The songs and all.
Very nice, gentle sort of stuff, but very, very thoughtful as well.
And really here, like you know, there's something there's one of the songs he did. I don't know why this is so funny to me, where he's singing about it's a drunk guy coming home looking at his wife to make him a fucking fry. And he comes home and he goes like, hear my song, Violetta. And he goes, hear my song beneath the moon. And it's this line always sings me. He goes, put on the pan. You know, like, it's like, I know that's funny. He's just telling his wife to stick a pan on. Like, it's just some so like stupidly Belfast about it. You know what I mean? I fucking love that guy. Like, but hardly anybody. Weirdly, I was standing.
Any recordings around the heart?
No, yeah. There's the Diagonal Steam Trap. There was a tape of that.
Yeah.
And then there's a CD of it, but it's so expensive. It's like fucking £90 or something on Amazon. I was like, I'll spend that. Like, call it a tax write-off. You know, comedy research.
Well, in terms of the comedy heritage and stuff, Olivia Nash, who plays my wife, turned 80 there this year.
Did she?
Yeah. She worked with Jimmy Young. She was in the group theatre in the late 60s, early 70s. Yeah. And it is kind of mad, you think, bloody hell. And they did 2 shows and run at once and stuff. We're in the group theatre every single day. And I think
sort of like what do you call it, rep theatre, like
absolutely. But the Troubles completely ruined it. The 71 after internment, I think they had to stop, and then he ended up on telly and stuff like that. But I think that, we Olivia was still going. And she's brilliant.
I remember going to the group theatre a lot because, like, whenever I was studying like drama at school, we had to go watch shows. That was part of like our homework, and like part of our course was like we had to go and watch stuff and produce reviews and stuff. And which is a weird thing to teach. You're not teaching somebody how to act. You're teaching them how to fucking be a critic, like, which is weird. But the set was shite looking. You know what I mean? It was in there. I remember seeing like. There was a group of people that kept putting shows on in there, they were doing loads of like English English farce plays like Alan Ayckbourn stuff and like fucking
sort of thing.
Yeah, and they did Confusions, and I remember we went to see Confusions one time, and there was one guy who was in it was fucking unbelievable, but there was another guy who was in the same show, and I was going, lads, sack that cunt. Like he like, you know, he just didn't know, like he knew no lines, and I was sitting there going, you know, you're like going, I know we're paying fucking $5 in here, like, but can you learn these lines a wee bit? Like, you know, just like we're
make a bit of an effort, yeah.
You can see like the other actors around him going, mouthing the lines to him, and then he's going, and then saying it, and I'm going, mate, will you fuck up? Oh my god, it was one of the fucking weirdest nights of my life, like, and then
I started in St Malachy's. I was in a play in St Malachy's,
right,
way back. That's used to do a thing with the local girls' school.
Right.
And we did Shakespeare.
Right.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Right, okay.
Local boys' school, local girls' school. And then 9 months after the play, there was Much Ado.
Oh.
But so St Malachy's
That's
being
unbelievable.
St Malachy's being St Malachy's. What was the next year's play? You know, they did the, you know, they were talking early 80s, did the sit down with the boys and discuss sexual morality or contraception. No, the next play that St Malachy's did, 12 Angry Men.
Oh my god, yeah.
No women.
No women allowed,
yeah, cut damn women out of
That's
that.
Fucking
and I got my
mad.
first big part as the old man in 12 Angry Men.
That's a great line. 9 months after there was Much Ado. That's amazing. That's mental. We did some Shakespeare stuff at school. We would have done like we had like our school had a Shakespeare festival for first and second years once a year, and it was like, so all the classes in English you would learn, you would go through one of the plays. So like in first year, our class did Romeo and Juliet, and then you perform like an abridged version of it in front of everybody. So it was like, you know, I think if everybody does about 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Well done,
So we did like a 15-minute Romeo and Juliet. I was Mercutio, great death scene. And then in second year we did like Twelfth Night, and I was Festy, who's kind of like the fool of Twelfth Night, like. But yeah, I just remember.
Actor.
I am, yeah. I'm trained. I'm classically trained. But I remember like when
and
we
it
were,
hasn't gone to waste.
I know, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm still just making.
I've seen your live show. Go.
I know, yeah. It's not very Shakespearean, is it? Like, but yeah. So what have you got? Coming up? Then I know you were saying.
I have a big charity gig for the Integrated Education Fund. I bore people about this, but I'm a big fan of integrated education. I think Protestants and Catholics should learn to love together and work together and
just like a normal
a normal society instead of separating them at 4 years old and going, you'll never see a Protestant
and then here at uni, all these together.
Exactly. I hardly knew a prod until I was 18.
Same here.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, like seriously, same here. Like I went to Catholic
and they're
schools.
not that bad either.
Well, you say that.
It's taken me a while now, but they're all right.
And then when you go to uni, I remember like going into uni and like I was doing history at Queen's to start with, and I was studying ancient history, but I was also doing, you know, they do that thing where they make you take extra subjects in the first year. So I was doing English and modern history with it as well, and like in one of the first bits was like go around a room in your tutorial of like 20 people or something that's like introduce, you know, say who you are, you know, where you've come from basically, and a hero from history.
All right.
And everybody's going around and everybody's being very fucking diplomatic, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of I would be, you know, I'm a great fan of Benjamin Franklin and, you know,
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then some guy just says, I fucking love Ian Paisley, and you're just like, do you? Then it starts, everybody's like, well, I would have said Jerry Adams then, you know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Christ. But that's like, yeah, actually I was about to tell a wee story there. I shouldn't, about my sister. Actually, can I tell this? But actually,
it's your podcast.
And, I won't, because it's about my sister and an interview she did about a historical figure. You can guess which historical figure she said was a hero because she panicked in an interview. You know who she said? You know who she said? Hitler. She literally did this.
She said, "It was hero."
Yeah, like talk about
hero.
talk about somebody who's a hero from history, and she panicked and said Hitler, and then, but hilariously, then she now she obviously didn't get that fucking job, and then in the place where she works
we'd like
now,
you to take over.
I know, yeah, in the place
running trains without going time.
In the place where she works now, somebody else had gone for that job,
right,
as well. And also said Hitler in their interview.
What do you mean?
Two people went for that job and both went to Hitler. Can you imagine being on that interview panel and going, "This question's fucking separating the wheat from the chaff"? Like that's separating the right from the left. That's fucking
which
mental.
particular aspect?
I know, yeah. Great economic policy. Shame about the fucking genocide. Do you know what I mean?
Lovely facial hair. Yeah.
I'll have to text her and ask her, "Can we fucking keep that story in?" But anyway, yeah, there's
a man who needs manscaping.
I know. So
other things.
So yeah,
it's a big gig in the Ulster
Hall.
Big gig in the Ulster Hall. We do it every few years, and we haven't been able to do it for a couple of years. So it's myself and Colin Murphy and Jake and Wendy Wason, and maybe a couple of others as well.
And that's 13th of October.
So it's the Thursday, the 13th of October. Yeah, good cause. But if you know, great night, even if you don't give a shit about, like Catholics or Protestants, and fucking couldn't care less about them. Come in a big great night's crack.
That's a lethal lineup.
It's a good night's crack.
Yeah.
And then we've got Blame Games coming back in November, and for another.
When did that start then? So in terms of like. You've been doing Get My Headpiece down for maybe 10 years or so before that, or longer?
Yeah, no, Blame Game just came out of nowhere for me. I was very lucky. Should I tell the story that I told in doing this podcast?
Sorry. So I didn't know you'd already.
No. It's I got a phone call one day from Jackie Hamilton saying he was doing a wee radio pilot, and would I come down and do this radio pilot? And my wife says, "It's Tuesday night, couldn't be ours. Tell me F off." I says, no, I'll go down and do it. Sure, why not? And it happened to be the pilot for the Blame Game.
And that was like around the time when panel shows were really like starting to fire, because I remember seeing Colin Murphy on the panel, the Irish one, and then that was mad.
It's the best gig in the world for me. I just love it. I write my own stuff. Well, there's a guy who helps me write some jokes. Paul Gamble, great guy. Yeah. But I write the script the night before or the day of it. Record it on a Thursday. And then, so my bits are scripted, and everybody knows what the topics are going to be, but nobody knows anything else. Yeah. So nobody knows what I'm going to say. Nobody knows what Jake's going to say about her.
And then it's out on a Friday, so it's
bang.
Quite gratifying in that way because it's quite quick.
In the audience, and we record about an hour and a half, and then
to get your half hour. Because that's I always think that's like a sort of weird thing about TV sometimes, or even a wee bit with radio. We're like, right, like with TV, like we're shooting a pilot in like early October now. And it's like
you do that thing with William, did you?
I wasn't in that. No, we did a pilot with Channel 4 a couple of years ago, and then William and Dave did that one, and then the one they just did with Channel 4 is for BBC One, network, and it's I wrote that script like 3 years ago. Right. So you're going there's bits of it you go, right, fuck, that needs, you need to update it now a wee bit, and it's so slow that you go, how do you keep this? How do you keep it relevant then? Whereas in other, like in America, for instance, like if they're doing a TV show, like you write that and it's out in a week or 2 weeks, like, do you know what I mean, or even a month.
Teams of writers and rooms of writers and stuff.
Yeah, like especially if they're doing those things where it's like 12 or 20, 22 episodes. There's not loads of those 22 episode shows anymore, but like 22 episodes a show, like you need fucking a team, like.
My wife and I just recently started rewatching all of Frasier from beginning to
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's
beautifully crafted.
See the start of that as well, like where they,
pilot episode,
especially the first series, they look a lot at like the relationship between him and his dad and how fractious it actually is. Like you forget that because the ones that you see are usually series 4, series 5.
Beautifully developed.
It's so fun.
Established within 2 minutes. Through great gags.
It's actually unbelievable. Like.
But I mean, I'm a child of the '70s, so I grew up with Not 9 O'Clock News. Do you remember Not 9 O'Clock News?
A wee bit, yeah.
It was a well-known sketch show. Faulty Towers.
I've seen I watched. We had that on tape. Like, remember Faulty Towers and like
only 12 of them.
Porridge would have been Porridge was a big deal in our house. I would think.
Porridge is the old style. It's a bit more. When you watch them back now, they're not as funny as you think because they're more drama.
It's more theatre-y than
and,
TV.
Completely unlike the American stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and that's like sort of there was a lot of that. Programs, even Holyfields and Horses when it started was more drama than laugh out loud moments, but British people have a great affection for the characters and
you want to see them do well. Like I don't know, there's something about the two Ronnies, but something about Ronnie Barker and Porridge and like Open All Hours. They were like if there was they still would have been repeating those whenever I was growing up, and then whenever like we got Sky, they were always on like what do you call it, UK Gold or whatever. Yeah. So like we just used to somewhat like Porridge was like a big deal for me.
Porridge,
you know what I mean? I always remember like when he's sitting reading the paper and what do you call him, Mackay's like looking in through the thing and he's just sitting there.
He's got his finger back.
Like, he's just like, that's fucking unreal. Like, I remember the first time I saw it and just being like, you just lose your mind. You're only about 9 or 10 going, this is fucking mental. I love that. Oh, so good. Like, what do you call him?
David Jason was in it, and who played Godber?
Christopher Biggins was in it. And, what do you call him as well?
Richard Beckinsale.
Yeah, Richard Beckinsale. That's right. Yeah. And then the guy playing Mackay was he? I think he might have been called Mackay as well. Fulton Mackay. Yeah, properly funny. He had been a fucking. He'd been in the not a screed, but I think he'd been in the. I want to say something like that. He'd been in the Black Watch, or he knew somebody.
Yeah.
He sort of based it off of that. I fucking love that show. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's right, based down. I was in the Ra. I see myself in the machine. Channeled that,
That's unreal. So, like, you're doing a bit more of Get My Head Piece in this year?
Yeah, it's bizarre. We're put off for a few years, but we still do a tour every year, a live show, and it goes still massive, And, then the Babe came back and said, we're still getting big audiences here. We'll do it for a few more years. So we're doing 4 episodes Christmas and New Year, and then another 4 next year.
Class.
Which is nice,
How long has that been going then? That's like 24
Well, there's been a few gaps, but from 1998.
It's mad, isn't it? Like?
It's the entire beast process, and more. God bless them. Our politicians have put my kids through university. God bless them. I thank them all.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart. Keep up the good work, guys.
That's unbelievable. Just before we wrap, we always ask guests the questions. Do you remember the show Inside the Actors Studio? Have you ever seen that? Where they interview famous actors and stuff for they'll bring in like Al Pacino or something, but they all get asked these 10 quick fire questions. Right. Dan is going to fire them up because I always forget them. But I think is the first one, what's your favorite word? Yeah, so these are they're just quick fire ones. So what's your favorite word?
Vicissitude.
I don't. Are you speaking snake language?
No, the vicissitudes of life, or the ups and downs of life.
Oh wow, that's like that word, verisimilitude.
Oh, it's a good word.
Which is a word that I hear and just go, I'm out.
No, verisimilitude just means a bit like something. Yeah, it's a wee bit like.
Yeah, that's funny, but a wee bit like.
Yeah.
Just say out there. Oh, fuck me, that's funny, mate. So, vicissitude, the ups and downs.
Yeah, but the vicissitude.
That's very enjoyable.
Go,
That's probably one of the better answers we've had for what's your favourite word. A lot of people go for a 4-letter one. Yeah. And then what's the next one? What's your favourite swear?
What's your least favourite word?
Oh, your least favourite word.
My least favourite word. That's a good question. My least favourite word is work.
What turns you on creatively?
What turns you on creatively? Yes.
What turns you a contract?
Unbelievable! What a fucking great answer. What turns you off creatively? No contract.
What turns you? People not laughing.
Yeah. Then it's what's your favourite swear word? Yeah.
What's my favourite? Fuckwit.
Oh,
not just
good.
Fuck, but a fuckwit.
Yeah,
somebody.
I love dog shit. I love describing things. It's just dog shit. That's so good. Or horse shit, but dog shit really gets me. What's your
what sound or noise?
What sound or noise do you love?
Do I love?
Yeah.
What sound do I love? That's a good. I'm not sure. I like a good requiem mass. Requiem, Mozart or Fauré. Yeah. Thoroughly recommend.
What
sound? Not really a noise, but it's
what sound or noise do you hate?
What? Screaming baby.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's the worst, isn't it? It's like a fucking drill.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Yeah. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I want to be a fireman.
Would you?
I'd like to be a fireman. Yeah.
Oh mate, I would. I never want anything that has like responsibility attached to it. So like, that would be a nightmare for me.
I was in a fire once.
Really?
Yeah, in 1981. Very unpleasant. Somebody set fire to our house and tried to kill us all. But you do not appreciate the fire service until you get your head stuck out a smoke-filled window in a fire.
That's mental. So fire brigade had to properly save you? Like?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. I saved my sister's life, genuinely.
That's mad.
And they appeared on the garden, and within 5 seconds, I was in fire. I got a fireman's lift over the shoulder and rushed to an ambulance. And all.
I think a fireman would shit himself if he saw me at the top of his ladder.
So I appreciate those guys.
I think a fireman would come up and just go, "You're on your own, twang. Fucking get out this window if you can, mate." And then what profession would you not want to attempt?
I wouldn't want to go back to the law.
Yeah. I think teaching. I think teaching like relatively young kids must be a fucking nightmare. I wouldn't want to do that shit.
Well, I have a lot of relatives, teachers, and they get very upset because I do jokes about teachers and how
they deserve joked about. All our ones are teachers, all my sisters and all.
Well,
all my sisters are teachers.
Is that right?
Yeah, you have to
do the bugger off to Spain for 6 weeks.
I know,
And they go, we work so hard, well, you fucking don't. I'm off. Yeah, they're never off. They're never in fucking work. And then when they're in work, they go, teacher training days. What are fucking teacher training days they need? They're off so often, that's what they need to remind themselves how to do the fucking job.
I used to enjoy the wee teacher training days whenever I was a kid, because you just get a wee free day off on a
and then Friday. You have to buy them fucking presents.
Oh yeah,
end of term. Thank you for doing the job.
Teacher presents, those wee bath balls.
Oh,
a bath for a teacher, a stressed teacher.
Yes, there's a relative of mine used to come home at the end of term with 20 bottles of wine.
I know, yeah. I don't think no teacher has ever had to buy toiletries, have they? Just live off of that June and Christmas.
That's right.
Those, from wee licks.
The only thing I've ever been offered as a comedian is a sniff out of someone's glue bag.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely was offered.
Do you know what's mental? This has happened to me a fair bit recently. People have started offering me drugs and drink a lot, and I'm like, I don't drink and I don't do drugs, so I'm just like, I don't drink and I think I'm fairly vocal about that. Like I say a lot, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and people are still like, oh, you must love it, you want a wee bit of gear, mate? And I'm like, you better be talking about Adidas, because I don't know what you're on about. Like, but yeah, what is this the last one? Are we on the last question now? If when you go to heaven, what would you like to hear God say when you reach the gates?
As a patron of the Northern Ireland Humanists and a devout atheist, if I meet God, I'll go, for fuck's sake. Oh, Jesus. You're into second chances, aren't you, God? Seriously. There was a lot of books saying you weren't.
You're like, have you seen my headphones? There's wee DVD. Oh, man, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I kind of gave up religion a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's funny. Not that you have given up religion. Did you literally go there and just be like, that's fucking mental. Well, mate, thanks a million for coming on.
Pleasure.
It's been great having you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for surrendering to me on FIFA. And so you've got the integrated education on October 13th. Fresh Game My Headpiece coming, fresh blame game coming.
Fresh blame game coming. And also we, on the radio at the minute, is a radio show I do called The Long and the Short of It about Irish history with an Orange man called David Hume, where we talk about controversial moments of Irish history and then agree that he was wrong. And it's going into production we're getting 4 episodes on telly. So we're going to be discussing things like the Siege of Derry and the Act of Union and Michael Collins and
just all those non-controversial moments.
Gun running and stuff, yeah.
Class.
So really
that's lethal, mate. Well, like I say, thanks very much for coming
Kieran,
on.
a pleasure. Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers. Guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. I think you'll agree it was a fucking smashing one. So we'll see you in the next one, alright? Oh, love it.